Let's watch someone getting a band 9 in their IELTS speaking test. This video is from the IELTS official YouTube site, and they only show part 3 of the speaking test. So we don't know what happens in part 1 and part 2, but we can assume they were very good if this candidate gets a 9 overall. And remember, there's just one grade for the whole test. So part 1, part 2, and part 3 together gave this candidate, Anuradha, a band 9. So let's watch her part 3 and let's analyze what makes it so good.
We've been talking about a well-known person you like or admire, and I'd like to discuss with you one or two more general questions related to this. Let's consider first of all famous people in your country. So in Malaysia, what kind of people become famous?
In Malaysia, definitely the politicians, and also some actors and actresses are very famous among Malaysians.
Okay, let's just stop there for a moment. She seems a little bit nervous, but I think that's understandable, right? Not only is she doing the IELTS test, and this is a real IELTS test, she's also being filmed, and this is going to be put on the internet for people like us to watch. So she's a little bit nervous, a little bit hesitant, but that's okay, right? So she gives quite a short answer here, and she's a little bit, but that's fine. Not all of your answers need to be high-level vocabulary and fully explained and perfect. If you're a little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous, that's fine.
So what about in the past? Is that the same as in the past? Were politicians and actors and actresses always?
I think definitely in the past, if you're talking about the 50s and 60s, movies were the number one communication tool between villages or towns. So the people definitely knew actors and actresses better than the politicians. Compared to now, you have TV and news where people follow politicians' personal life more than an actor or actress.
Okay, so the examiner here is giving Anuradha the opportunity to talk about the past and the present and compare the two. And this is quite a classic question in part 3 of the IELTS speaking test, comparing the past and the present, or the present and the future. She uses some nice language in there, like number 1 communication tool. Okay, and next, the examiner is going to ask her about the future.
In many cultures, quite the opposite has happened, where politicians used to be quite well known, whereas nowadays movie stars, television stars are more well known. What do you think about in the future? Do you think that that's going to continue? Politicians will continue to be?
I think definitely in the future, because the world is becoming more globalized, Malaysians would have a tendency to be exposed to more international programs, and they know more international celebrities compared to the local actors and actresses or local politicians. So we would follow international politics, maybe American or British politics, or even the models or actresses internationally.
Okay, so again, a nice simple answer here. What I like about Anuradha's answers is that she answers the question directly. She doesn't waste time by saying, that's an interesting question, or I've never thought about that one before. She gets straight to the answer of the question, which saves her a lot of time. Also, we haven't yet seen any particularly high-level vocabulary. Some people think that you have to use a lot of idioms when you're speaking, but you really don't. The important thing is to be clear, and she's being really clear.
Well, let's talk about celebrity culture. Often famous people are used in advertisements. Can you give me some examples of that?
Yeah, famous people like actors and actresses are used in advertisements, and especially sports celebrities like Tiger Woods or Roger Federer, promoting sports equipment or sports shoes or clothes. Other than that, I think it's more models and actresses that sponsor perfume and clothes. And
is that always true, that whatever profession they're involved in, that's the kind of product that they tend to promote?
I don't think that's true because a lot of celebrity actresses support perfumes and support clothes whereby actually it should be models that do it.
But isn't that sort of glamorous kind of side of Hollywood that they can try to bring to the public?
I suppose that's what they're trying to do. The marketing, the people who are marketing the product are trying to bring in the glamour that that celebrity holds. But yeah, I suppose a celebrity they do have that grasp over, people's mindset and what they should buy, the consumerism.
Now you're talking.
Okay, so there's a really nice back and forth between Anuradha and the examiner here. Feels like a very natural conversation where they're really interested in what each other is saying and they're exchanging ideas. Anuradha uses some nice language here, like bring in glamour, and she talks about marketing and mindset as well. So she's building up this vocabulary now. She makes a couple of little mistakes as well. She uses the word whereby, but really she means whereas. But this is the kind of mistake that a native speaker would make, just mixing up those two words. And she also uses the word grasp, where she probably means the word hold would be a bit better here. But again, that's the kind of mistake that a native speaker would make when they're thinking on the spot, they're under a bit of pressure, then they might mix up those two words. And her meaning, her message, is still very clear. So again, don't worry about making little mistakes and choosing the wrong words sometimes, because everybody does it. Okay, let's see what happens next.
Talking about their influence
Yes.
on the consumer. What about on the young? Do celebrities, do you think, produce negative effects in our youth?
Definitely, I think they do. As you can see, like lifestyle and health, celebrities are becoming thinner, models and celebrities. And when you open a magazine, young girls would be exposed to thin models, and they think that that's normal for them to be thin, and that could cause them to go into anorexia, bulimia, or unhealthy practices because they think being thin is a norm, whereas being healthy and being normal-bodied is actually the norm.
Now, what about
Okay, again, I think it's really nice that she has a clear answer. She doesn't waste time by repeating the question or saying, oh, that's an interesting question. She says, yeah, definitely. And then she explains her reason why. She uses some nice language like exposed to, unhealthy practices, and they think this is the norm. Okay, what's next?
about young boys? Do you think that celebrities can have an influence on young boys?
I think most definitely. I think young boys could be influenced in a way materialistically, like they would want the big car that the celebrities drive, and they want the bling, and they want all the cool gadgets and tools that there are out there, and it could make boys realize that materialistic things are the only way to happiness.
Okay, so again, a nice clear answer here. She doesn't waste any time. She says, most definitely this time. And she gives a few examples to back up her answer. She uses some really nice language as well, like materialistically. She also uses the word the bling as well, which is a really nice idiomatic phrase.
Now, what about public opinion? How might celebrities be used to influence public opinion?
Celebrities are used actually to, like, if you can see PETA, the protection of the endangered animals, they use celebrities to get to the public. There's like this promotion where they get celebrities to go naked to show that animals are stripped, especially like seals and foxes and all that, for their fur. And it strikes a chord because it's a celebrity. Oh, that person's doing that. let's look at the poster. Oh, what's the message? Oh, okay, I get it. No? Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is a strong finish to part 3. There's a few nice things in this final section. First of all, she says celebrities are used in this way. She emphasizes that word and she shows it in her pronunciation. Anuradha also uses just one idiom here. She says it strikes a chord with people when they see celebrities promoting things. Now, a lot of people think that you need to use a lot of idioms in the IELTS speaking test. That's not true. She uses one. You could also use no idioms as well. That would also be fine. So what can we learn from this video? Well, I think there are 3 main things. First of all, answer the question. Don't waste time saying things like, oh, that's an interesting question, or I'd never thought about that before. Just get straight into your answer if possible. Secondly, there's no fixed structure for an answer. Some of your answers might be longer, some of your answers might be shorter. Give examples if you can, but the examiner will respond to what you say. And thirdly, you don't need to use a lot of high-level language. Using mostly simple but accurate language is much better than using a lot of higher level idioms that maybe are not quite right. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you get a band 9.